On the equity front, a loss once again. We're down 0.8%, but as I mentioned, year-to-date returns still looking good, up 11.3%.
Yeah, what we're seeing now is basically profit taking. Just like we said earlier, prices have come up in the last 1 month, and then what we're seeing is people take profit. There was a lot of activity in the banking stocks, even though they were not the top gainers. Top gainers today were more of companies from the flowers manufacturing sector, and then construction firms like Bankole and then CCNN. We also saw very good performance in terms of price movement from flour mills, Honeywell, and then Dangote flowers. People are beginning to take profit, of course, because it's month end and then weekend. We'd expect prices to go up in the next few months because results of banks will come out, year-end results will come out, and then you expect people to go in for their short-term margins.
Bankole, let's quickly check in on the fixed income markets. A surprise interest rate hike. Well, many thought that we would see rates unchanged. Of course, rates in Nigeria are now sitting at 6.5%. It's interesting, in Kenya we saw a surprise rate cut. So clearly a big divergence happening from the east to the west of the continent. But what impact is that going to have on the fixed income scenario going forward?
Yes, on the initial, what we saw was prices dropped, yields and went up slightly. Yields adjusted to what happened at the MPC just as results came out. But when yields went up, we saw investors and dealers take advantage of this happening and then going in, especially at the long end of the market, to get bonds at 13.6. This is seen to be very high. Today, yields closed at 13.2 average. This is really because timetable has just come out for bond issuance for the quarter, and then the government has reduced the amount it wants to borrow from the economy. There will be no issuance for the 20 years maturity, and then we'll see just about $400 million equivalent to being borrowed on the short-term maturity, just as I've said. So we're seeing some pressure on the longer end of the market, and I mean, it's also very good for the market.
Well, just looking at the liquidity levels as well overall in Nigeria, you know, during the MPC announcement, it's interesting that Governor Sunusi did allude to the fact that perhaps government bond issuances are starting to crowd out the private sector bond issuances as well. Give us your view of the changing liquidity environment.
Yeah, the system is quite liquid now because since federal allocations came in, we've not seen too much of activity on the fixed income end, and then for the volumes they've done so far, it's been not so large, just like you've said. They're trying to create some space for private sector bonds and then state bonds too, just like they've been in the pipeline for a while. The government itself had raised a lot of money in the last quarter of last year, and so it's looking at reducing its debt portfolio, just as some are maturing anyway. So we would expect to see moderate issuance of bonds from the federal government.
In terms of foreign exchange trends, we can comfortably say that perhaps the Naira going forward is still going to trade within a tight range of around 3% to the up or downside. Do most market participants expect this to continue?
Yes, what we expect really is a stability because last Wednesday, that's about 10 days ago, what we saw was the valuation of about 10 kobo. But between Monday and then Wednesday, when there was a wholesale Dutch auction, there was a 9 kobo revaluation, so it flops on around 150.4 to $1. That's the CBN rate. That's as at Wednesday. So we believe the CBN's objective really is to meet demand at $250 million twice a week, and that's about an issuance of about $500 million worth of currency to the system. And the objective really is to keep it stable at where it is. So we foresee this stability in the short run at least.